In this video, I want to recap a trade I took where I profited over $900 on the MES by reading the heat map. As you can see here, this is the trade logged in my journal. It was a total $927 profit, about a 5.6 to 1 risk reward, trading 12 contracts on the MES. So for this trade, my overall bias was bullish. This is a 1 hourly chart, by the way. And as you can see, the market aggressively pushed lower, breaking beneath this low, but then buying up quite aggressively, even double bottoming and never revisiting that low, acting like a liquidity sweep. And so I view that as very bullish price action, and especially then coming into the day. If I come over here to my 5-minute chart, in the overnight session, the market didn't really react from this supply at all that was created from that drop. The market didn't react to it at all. It chopped through it, invalidating that supply zone and further validating my bullish bias. And so that's when I removed this supply zone and was only looking for longs. So with that bias and that structure I just explained, what I was looking for here was reasons to go long today. And as you can see at the open, the market pushed up aggressively. I did not catch this move, but what I was looking for was a pullback into this area from like the 48s to the 40s, which was just an area of low volume, to go long targeting the high of day. But this plan was quickly invalidated as the market dumped straight through my zone. But as it broke through my level here, it pushed down to the daily lows, acted like a little liquidity sweep down here. As you can see, it broke below the daily low and then bought up quite aggressively, back up into this area where I was previously looking to hit the market long and back above VWAP as well. To be completely honest, the structure here was like in the middle of the day's price action and it didn't look the best, but because I had a bullish bias, I was definitely still leaning more on longs. This setup just didn't have the best structure to it in terms of the price being in the middle of today's price action. However, the confirmation for this trade was pretty good, was pretty A+ in my opinion. And so that is a heavy reason I did take this trade. And it was when I longed this pullback right here, holding above VWAP. So now I'm going to go into the trade recording and show you the exact entry I took on this trade. So here is the recording of my trade. What you're looking at here is a heat map, and over here is just a 1-minute MES chart, which is what I execute on. So you can see the sweep below the daily low down here, the buy up. And now what I was looking for was a dip down to VWAP to go long. To explain this heat map a bit, every blue line you see is a bid, and every red or pink line you see is an offer. And so this is passive liquidity, and all this buying, you see like the gray bubble, that is aggressive buying, and the red bubble is aggressive selling. And so you've got passive and aggressive liquidity on this heat map that you can see. And down here is just a normal volume chart. So right here, as the market dipped down to VWAP, you can see all the selling stepping in. These bids filled indicated by this aggressive selling, and then more bids filled down here. And so as the market drops here, you can see these bids filling, the selling getting aggressive. But look what the price does despite all the selling effort trying to push price lower below VWAP. We can see the price lift here, making all of these sellers down here trapped. And so this is great confirmation to hit the market long. We've got passive buying, which is these bids filling. And then right there, you can see the market spike here with all that aggressive buying. You saw this tape sort of speed up, the price action speed up. That is my confirmation to enter the market long. We've got passive buying and aggressive buying above VWAP on that pullback. And so I hit the market long over here at the 50s, placing my stop loss at the 48s because the market just lifted straight from my entry here, which made this a really small risk trade, which allowed for that 5 to 1 risk reward. My first target here was the 65s because earlier in the day over here, there was a lot of offering happening at the 65s, and offers are just these pink lines, which are passive sellers, which caused the market to drop. And so that was the reason for my 65 target. I could have held to the high, but there's been a couple trades before where I have targeted a new high that never came and the trade got stopped out on break even, being only a couple points away from the high. So a bit of PTSD, that's why I had it at the 65s. Then I had my second target up here at the 71s, 72s, which was just a supply zone. So here you can see aggressive buying denoted by these gray bubbles breaking above the high, which is where I exited my 10 contracts on my trade at the 65s here. And I was holding 2 runners to that supply zone. I trail my stop up here, and the reason I put it at the 63s is because you can see this massive bid wall here. This is like my wall of protection for my stop loss here. I put it below that, saying if the price does break this and does push down, I want to be out of the trade anyway because that would indicate weakness. And so I put it below this to say if this holds, I want to keep in the trade because that would indicate buyers are still present. And as you can see here, the market dips into that level. Some bids fill, but then it buys back up. And it never hits my stop loss and then pushes right up into my final target here, which I close out the trade at the 72s. All out of the trade there, 72s, final target Here's what the full trade looked like on a 1 minute chart. I entered long here, stop loss here, and first take profit at the 65s, and then my 2 runners out at the 72s. To be honest, I would rate this trade a probably 7 out of 10. In terms of entry and confirmation, 10 out of 10. That was really great confirmation, holding above VWAP with those bids filling, and then the buyers getting aggressive. But the structure here, just on the daily structure, it didn't really fit. It was kind of in the middle of all this price action, and I didn't really like it. But the risk was really small, the confirmation was really good, and my overall bias for the last couple of days was long. So it's a trade that I put risk on for. By the way, if you're wondering what this journal is that you're seeing here, it's one that I created myself in Google Sheets. If you're interested, take a look in the description below. It'll be linked down there and you can have a look through it more. If you have any questions, drop them below and I'll be sure to answer all of them. Anyways, see you in the next one.